right off the bat. Hang on. Let's do this. All right. I don't know what's up with chat box, but we're going to roll with it. So shout out to everybody who's already here. I only have one song tonight to get started, and probably about an hour worth of yapping and songs to play in between my yapping so I can drink water. So let's get right into it, guys. Episode 17, Scene Builders, Associates of the Sewer, Part 2, conversation about Scotty Splash, Jabari on the beat, and Eric Godlow. This first song I'm playing is Sleep at Night Lately. I love this song.
I was being careful, I lost a best friend. The next time I'm being careful, I swear it'll be me on my Dell. Yeah, I heard plenty stories about it. Afterlife is so far, no one gives me anything that helps me sleep at night. Robbed me from out my heart shell just to send me back. This time it's made of concrete, you can never cry.
Like what?
Sniffing blow right now, they see my touch your toes right now. I'm saying high as fuck, you better boil your right now. She a 10 of me, I like that, got the SAD. She look good to me, she tryna fuck like maiden season. You mad about shit, you were not there to see you better. She need 3 rounds on me, I deliver, I'm not a quitter. I was being careful, I lost a best friend. The next time I'm being careful, I swear it'll be me on my Dell. I've been the same since birth, I can't say that for fake friends. I see no warning signs, but I can't help but trust them. Grace, give me the strength to carry on through heat. All they said in my city, tempts me to become like thee lately.
Hey, chat. Who were in the Chipmunks?
Careful, I lost a best friend. The next time I'm being careful, I swear I'll be me on my Dell. I have plenty stories about it. Afterlife is so for no one gives me anything that helps me sleep at night.
Yeah. Your episode 17. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna try to rush the episode or anything. Really tired. I was just telling Sil that before we started. I'm really tired. Had a very long day. I apologize for any mess ups in the advance. And I'm going to try to pay as much attention to the chat as possible. I dropped a note in the podcast chat on Discord earlier. I do have a lot to do tomorrow. I have to get up pretty early. I'm not going to try to rush this or anything, but it's going to be straight to the point. I'm in my hotel room watching this in a new city. That's fire, Noah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Am I crazy? I for real thought it was Thanksgiving. Nah. I wish it was Thanksgiving, bro. I would have been eating mad turkey today, for real. Mad turkey. I mean, I celebrate, but I don't do too much besides go somewhere, eat food, and come home, you know? Anyways, I have a script for tonight. I'm gonna try not to stray away from it for too much. Hopefully gonna be here for about hour and a half, hour 45 ish, with the songs, with the input, all of that. We're gonna hit the ground running, guys. Episode 17, Welcome back to Conversations in the Sewer, y'all. This is the podcast that's from the people who built the community for those who live in it, which is all of us, every single one of you in this chat, everybody who I bring up on here, whether you know, all of that. Tonight's episode, once again, is focusing on the Scene Builders theme. This is Associates of the Sewer Part 2. And I'm going to be running this one solo tonight. Hope y'all are okay with that. No guest host, no guest, nobody to help me out, nobody to blow my mind unless you guys in the middle of me talking about all of this, say something that's extravagant. So feel free to do that. Keep the chat active throughout the whole thing. Drop W's if it's a take that you agree with. Everything that I'm going to be saying inside of this is personal. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. Doa has an opinion. Sewer has his opinion. So don't come at me when I say something about somebody that you might not agree with. But tonight we're going to be talking about 3 producers who I personally feel have left a real mark on the underground scene that we support. Those names are Scotty Splash, Jabari on the beat, and Eric Godlow. These are people who help define what the scene feels like from the early days. They decide on the mood, the texture, the pacing. These are the ones who can take an artist's emotions and turn it into a full world, a landscape. So tonight I'm going to be slowing things down a little. We've had some deep dives and all of that, so I just want to sit back and talk about some people that I really enjoy their music from. Look at what makes each of them unique and how their sounds keep shaping foundation for everything that we've been talking about since episode 1. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Before I get into it, like always, I have 3, 4, 5 things to address. First of all, if you noticed already, we have changed the YouTube @ The YouTube @ is now consistent with Instagram. It is @Convos in the Sewer. Finally came to my senses that @Conversations in the Sewer is too long for most people to want to type. Algorithms don't really pick it up, so we're going to roll with this. I see my camera's glitching a little bit. If it gets too bad, I'm going to restart it, just letting you guys know right now. So yeah, new YouTube still us. When I think it's 14 days, when the 14 days are up, Conversations in the Sewer is going to get released to the public, and I'll be making a second account. You guys better not steal it, but I'm going to be making a second account with the @Conversations in the Sewer and just have this account tagged. That might turn into a clip channel. It might turn into something down the line with the network that I'm trying to plan. Sil, Heber, Sewer Prophet, maybe other people involved in the community. Somebody's in the chat right now, but I don't want to spoil it. I was supposed to talk to you about it last week and I never talked to you, bro. My bad. Back to the script because I'm yapping. So yeah, new YouTube @ Convos in the Sewer. Second, artist submissions. Artist submissions are open. Stay open. You can submit once, twice, 300 times. Put a song in there, bro. Just put a song in there, bro. Literally, just drop something in there real quick, please. Artists, I need you. I want to do a community festival, and I can't do that with only 5 people who submit. So shout out to the people who have submitted. If I haven't played your stuff yet, I'm sorry. I look at the spreadsheet like twice every single week, and I'm trying to get more people to do it so I can actually use the music that's being submitted. I'll get to it. I promise. I have a plan. There's a plan for this. 3, community submissions are always open, and that's open-ended. It could be to answer the question of the week. It could be to be like, yo, Dev, I think you're doing a good job running the podcast. Yo, Sil, I think you should break down this song. Yo, Heber, do a hair flip. Like, anything. You literally can put anything in the community submissions that you want to be said on stream, that you want to communicate with us. Send a DM to the Instagram page @Convos in the Sewer. Comment on the YouTube or Instagram posts, or do /confess in any channel in the Discord, which is discord.gg/Sewerperson. Telling you right now, I try to read all of the submissions seriously and display them on my screen. So if it's something that you want, like an experience that you had at a concert, whether it was Sewerperson, you could even do like people who are in the scene around him, 93 Feet of Smoke, Fatsy, Polearm. I know they're going crazy with shows right now. Carter and Cult Moon, I saw you guys had a crazy show going on. Like, you know, like, well, you guys just Cult Moon just had a show in LA. Carter has a show coming up in a couple days, and I believe he just performed at a different show over the weekend. Might be having the dates a little wrong, but I know for a fact that he performed. So all of you guys, send submissions through. If you got video footage of your show that you want me to play on here, just do it. /confess in any part of the Discord. Send a DM to me, to the Instagram, any of it. I'm here for it. Now, we have some submissions from last week. I think nine comments on Instagram and 4 actual submissions to the Discord. I'm not trying to hold this up anymore. We're gonna get to the question from last week, but I'm gonna restart my camera real quick because it's pissing me off and I see the frames glitching, and the artists and producers that I'm gonna be talking about tonight deserve 100% quality. So 1 second. Guys, I promise I'm just restarting, okay? I'm just restarting my camera app that I use because it doesn't want to work nice with me tonight. So, let's hope this is better. It's probably as best as it's going to get. I'm not going to lie. I might have to just roll with it. Yeah, I got to just roll with it. We're going to roll with it. Over here closing programs and stuff. Okay, first submission. Let's go to collab cam. Sweet. I'm back, guys. I'm 100% back. Not going nowhere again. I won't leave you, I promise. Do I already have this set up? I have it set up. Alright, so the question of the week was, if you could step into the other lands for 1 day, what do you think you would find? Our first submission, I don't have a name for, but it says, I think what's so captivating about the other lands is that the danger lies less in random violence, but rather through the interactions with other people and creatures throughout the realm. Damn, already a storybook like answer. This is exactly what I was going for with this. Of course, there's arachnids and the Yilu and such, but when anyone you run into could be a mimic or a Lezareth vampire, it would be hard to find anyone you could trust. While every region has some sort of danger, I think I'd retreat to the fishing town off Korabay. Yeah, Korabay. And chapter 3 literally starts with, there is no such thing as a safe zone here, only a well-disguised one. But I think that this is the best bet out of all the areas described across the album. I'd arrive with a blindfold like the people in the album cover, so I could wear it while communicating with any locals, in case they were secretly mimics. Oh. So you're saying if the mimics couldn't see you, can't look you in your eyes, they can't get to you, kind of? Yo. Otherwise, I'd look down while walking so as not to make eye contact. Hopefully I could build some trust with one of the people to stay in their home for the day, or I'd claim one of the 20 missing people's houses. Finders keepers, right? I'd love to take the opportunity to explore the lakeside and figure out how Korabay works, how Korabay draws people in, Jesus. But it likely wouldn't be worth the risk. Technical dev on duty, facts. Yo, this is a fantastic. You drew a picture, not just like you drew a real picture and talked about interacting with the people. I didn't do that in my answer, bro. I kind of feel like a loser. You went in. So shout out to you. If you're in the chat right now, drop that this was yours if you want it to be known. If not, shout out to you, bro. You can comment below. Second submission is, that was fantastic, by the way. That was like literally like a storybook, like taking what we're given in the album and painting like an actual picture out of that. That was awesome. Upon arriving in the other lands, I imagined I'd see a world similar to the Warhammer fantasy, where there are humans and non-humans of magical, fantastical origin. Fantastical is such a good word. The mimics, I think, would be similar to some sort of void slash warp being from the Warhammer universe, likely similar to the Gene Stealer Tyranids. I'm gonna go with that. It is likely that most of the other lands Earth would be in a deep war with very few people in places far enough away from the fighting to live in peace. Fire. This is awesome how you're tying it to a game. I've heard of Warhammer. A couple of my friends play Warhammer, even paint figurines of them and stuff. So like, that's sick to see that you're tying it to a game, or you could imagine it being similar to that. I know a little bit about it, but not too much. I just like the way that you drew the connection there. I like that. I like these submissions already. 2 in. Lil Knight, this the homie. If I were to be in the other lands, I expect to see everything become eerily dull and rotten with a lot of disrupted spaces from the various invasions that took place. Many stored away bodies, or even ones just left out. Maybe fresh, not old, maybe old. However, it really depends on when I enter the world. I might not make it out alive, or at least not get sick, but exploring it would be cool. Yeah, exploring the other lands would be sick. It sounds like there's different species of life. It sounds like even plants. Just sounds like the world's taken over by war, but it sounds like it's still so alive. Like the planet is dying, but there's still so much life to give from it. That's kind of what I got out of it. I have an answer that I'm going to be saying, and that's pretty much the basis of it. Sil, shout out to Sil, yo. Thanks for submitting. Yo, Aqua said the other lands is full of liminal spaces. Bro, chill. I'd be so afraid. I'd piss my pants. The other lands is a place that has so many things that closely resemble things we fear. So it stands to reason that within the confines of a universe devoid of hope and fueled with nightmares, that we'd stand within arm's length of our own demons and slowly begin to watch ourselves unravel under the unbearable weight of fear. Bro looked at this, he's like, yo, dude, you like deciphered this. Like, this is a great answer. He said, it stands to reason that within the confines of a universe devoid of hope and fueled with nightmares, that we'd stand within arm's length of our own demons. That's crazy. Imagine if, like, the other lands is just a bad dream. Like a nightmare. Nightmares that came true. I'm breaking my own mind, bro. That's a whole theory that we could think about and dive into another day. Great submission, Sil. I had to run half of that back because of how good that was, bro. You worded that so nicely, bro. Thank you. Thanks everybody who submitted on Discord. Once again, you can do /confess in any channel in the Discord, in the Sewerperson Discord that is in the middle of the screen at the top right here. I promise you, I will read your it says confession, but I'll read your submission. And if you want your name said with it, put your name in it, because as you can see, it's automatically anonymous, and I did that for a reason, because sometimes I'm going to be asking really personal questions that some people might not want their name publicized. I could show you the Discord channel right now, and I don't even get your names. Like, the bot is literally 100% anonymous. It's all through it. Moving on though, I am gonna do a couple from the Instagram just because they went off, bro. Like, Urban, you went absolutely insane. Like, that's such a fire. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start reading. Who's the oldest? Whose is the oldest? I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to do oldest first. I think we'll start from the bottom. Did I miss all of the Discord ones? Yeah, fam. I literally just did them. Just got done with them. I just got done, bro. I just got done. Sorry, bro. You can rewind the live though. I'm gonna be here for another hour and a half. So yeah. See, yeah, facts. See, we're on the same wavelength, bro. Like, facts. Okay. First one I'm gonna be reading, Mac. Okay. Lots and lots of tragedy, and I'll probably get turned into a Yilu or killed by a giant spider. Nah, seriously though, I feel like the spider thing is very um potent. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm arachnophobic in real life, so I'd be shitting, piss shitting at the same time, bro. It'd be so bad. I'd be so bad, bro. White Roses, Ace, the homie said, I imagine it would be set in an apocalyptic deserted town on the edge of the woods. Fire. That's such a good scene. Foggy, dark, cold. If you wander far enough, there's abandoned church or buildings in the trees. In the woods, you'd find death, otherworldly creatures, and you can search and search, but never find another real human. They're all skinwalkers and mimics. Yo. You spend the whole time trying to survive, but it feels like a DMT trip. You keep looking for an out, but end up lost deeper in the woods and spiraling. You think you're gonna find the answers to this weird world. Damn, I can't speak tonight. Sorry, guys. You feel something watching you and turn to confront it, and then it all goes black. You're dead. They got you. You decay into the earth, and it's like you were never there until you feel yourself waking up again. And now you're one of the mimics and part of the other lands forever. Nah, bruh. See, that's another like storybook. Like you took what was given to us in an album and kind of from breakdowns that we've done. Um kind of, you know, Skinwalker's theory is crazy. That's so cool. Yo, that's so cool. Um it's like, yeah, it's like you're taking what you're giving, what you're given with the album and just expanding on it for these. That's the whole goal of this, and you hit the goal head on, nail on the head right there. Great submission. uh People should make theories. We should build a universe off of the Otherlands album that we were given and see if we can like start like short stories or something. Because I feel like a lot of people in this community have talent to do that. Even I'm about to read Wasted's, and his is kind of like a, you know, I would kill off like 2 mimics and then bleed out in the parasite fields. Like, Wasted Loki snapped, bro. Like, imagine. You know, like that's probably what would happen to somebody who's trying to resist the other lands. Like, it's not so far fetched. And then I just love seeing how everybody's approaching answering these questions. So shout out to White Roses, shout out to Wasted, shout out to Mac. Okay, this is Naza Chervo. Shout out to you, bro. I mean, I definitely never step inside of them, but if one day I suddenly wake up in them, I might think that I'm in a purgatory or limbo itself, because it looks like pain and death out there. Yo, seriously, it looks like a absolute wasteland. It looks like it sounds like absolute like peril. It sounds like the world's just being suffocated. um Matthew, I believe, shout out to you, bro. At the end of the day, I think it's more reasonable to say I'd find death than anything else. I'd find death than anything else. Facts. You know, everybody's dying in the stories, bro. In the album, everybody was dying. That's crazy. Yo. Bro said he'd find her in the other lands. I don't know who hurt you, bro. But I'm here for you if you need me, bro. Her. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crisscross said a Charmander. Fire. Fire. I hope you'd find a Charmander. Imagine the other lands is actually a Pokemon world. Miles was just like, I love Pokemon so much. Let's write an album about it and say that Charmander's Lazarus and Squirtle's a mimic. I'm kidding. Anyways, Charmander's fire. I appreciate that. Urban, I saved yours for last because I kind of skimmed through it earlier and ruined it for myself. I really like this, so let's get into this real quick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still tripping over Rodbert saying her. That was funny. That was funny, bro. That was funny. So I continued my travels throughout Kora Bay and landed myself into this quaint fishing town. The locals were soft-spoken, as if afraid to wake the waters that surrounded their land. Their eyes never lingered on the lake for long, and soon enough they welcomed me as one of their own. I was becoming more accustomed to their ways of life, with learning how to fish, reading the ripples that the lake would produce to track weather patterns. Weather patterns? Dude, I'm fucking up. And to leave offerings at nightfall. As I stood closer to the lake shore, sometimes the wind sounded like it would mimic the voices that were once taken beneath the surface. The 20 lives. Oh, shit. At first, it was unsettling after hearing that many tales that had plagued this seafaring settlement. Yo, the wording is absolutely insane, bro. But eventually, as I continued to hum their hymns while the fog casted over us, I soon started to forget the sounds that used to haunt me, and now the silence has reshaped me. But that night, the waters began to stir. Curious as I was, I wanted to see what they had feared for generations. All I saw was the moon's reflection that casted over a veil of shimmering black before plunging into the endless, frigid depths. The lake became heavier, and I could not tell if I was drowning or being cradled by it. The wind still continues to whistle through the reeds of that village, and I think I still hear the locals calling out for me. Maybe they remember who I was, and maybe the lake does too. Yo, I agree. You need to make this into a book. You need to somebody needs to make stories out of this. That was absolutely well put. I love how you kind of like approached it from a story point of view, like a narrator. You know, I was here, I was traveling through the other lands. This is what happened. You know, I heard the waters starting to, pick up, and I was curious. So I went out there and looked for myself. And then you got sucked in by the lake. You fed the lake. Like, that is amazing. That is a phenomenal answer, honestly. That is fantastic. Thank you very much for allowing me to even read that on stream, because that was cool. That was very cool. Guys, my answer is kind of boring compared to a lot of those that I just read, but I said stepping into the other lands means pulling up on Lazarus turf. You know, stepping on their block. But I picture grand gates, royal crests, old money pretending that it's spotless. You know, old money hidden. You know, old money rotting, pretending that it's good. The mimics are turning it into an identity war, and there's people wearing people. The mirrors are lying, and every voice gets double checked at the door. And I feel like after the midsummer hit on that Lazarus house, you see how power and theft speak the same language. There's quiet halls and loud secrets. So I'd be moving carefully, keeping my head down, and I really feel like I'd find a war-stricken planet that's on its last legs, begging for an end to its misery. The people, the planet, both in unison. That was my answer for that. So I'm happy we were all able to share our takes on that. If you didn't submit, I don't think I'm going to be revisiting this question. You're more than welcome to submit if you still have an answer to, if you step into the other lands, what do you think you'd find? But this week's question of the week, I'm going to be doing these every week now. I like everybody contributing. I'm putting it in the chat right now. This week's question is, which underground producer makes you stop and rewind every time? I'll be posting a graphic for this on Instagram, of course. Trying to get better at posting on that. Sil and Heber know that I made templates for my posts, so I don't have to like waste time and try to figure out what font and all of that. Like, I knew what fonts and sizing and stuff, but I have a template that I literally can just go in and plug in everything. So everything's going to be polished from now on. All right. We're 30 minutes into the podcast. Let me get started. Okay. So I'm going to go in order of I announced earlier. We have Scotty first. We have Jabari on the beat second, and Eric Godlow third. There's going to be a lot of talking, guys. And like I said earlier, it's my personal feelings. I believe personally that what I'm saying is facts, because I believe so strongly in the producers. And that's kind of why I'm choosing them three first, is because I feel like they're the three most influential people to Sewer's career and where he's at and where he's going to go. Just because the showcase of growth with all of their beats. I don't know exactly when we got the last Scotty prod, but I know for a fact if you look at the original Scotty prods from Sewerperson when he first dropped them, and then you look at Sewer's music now, it showcases growth. So there's no doubt about it why I had to throw Scotty in here, because he deserves to be talked about, whether he's working with Miles every 3 albums or not. Scotty's part of Envy, the collective, Swain, Scotty, Eric, Sewer. It deserves to be talked about. Shout out to Lil Bank for dropping in the chat. What's up, bro? Shout out to Sam. How you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? I don't want to yap too much because, like I said earlier, I do have something to do. So I'm going to get pushing really on these kind of like summaries of how I feel about these producers. I ain't going to lie. It's a lot of yapping, yo. So stay locked in. Drop W's. Oh. Sorry I missed the first part about the other land submissions, but I wanted to mention I was the first submission you read. Just reminded and watched your reaction. Yeah, word, Sam. Thank you. Thank you. So you must have been, what, 41? 41, yeah. Word. I should have known. I should have known, because you had some sort of, you wrote it like a story. You, Urban, Sil, you guys always approach the questions, the input, so detailed. I appreciate that, guys. Seriously. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, I got 3 producers to talk about, and it should take me about 15 minutes for each of their passages. I think Scotty's is a little shorter by like 500 words. So yeah, but lock in, y'all. Get some water, because I need some for sure. And I hope y'all agree with my takes. If you agree with the takes that I'm going to be saying about these people, these producers, these very important people to Sewer's career, drop some W's in the chat. If you disagree with it, we can have a conversation about it some other time. You can still drop that in the chat. Don't be mean. If you're mean, that's one thing I don't want to do in this community. We can give people constructive criticism, but where you're just being an asshole, I'm just gonna ban you. Not even gonna lie. You can ask Bank. I'm mod for his streams. I will ban you. I love banning people on YouTube chat. So I love my YouTube chat though. So please don't. Your submission was the Warhammer one. Fire, bro. I should have known too, bro. I should have known. I don't know why I didn't know. Shout out to you guys. For real. Thanks for submitting, everybody. But I'm going to get into these breakdowns of and summaries of these producers. Listen to some music in between. I have 3 songs from each producer, I believe. And I believe they're from 3 different eras too, or 3 different timelines. Scotty's are pretty much all old, but yeah. So without further ado, let's start talking about Scotty Splash. I got quite a bit wrote. I think it's like 3.5 pages. So when you're mapping out the underground, how songs turn into spaces and singles turn into neighborhoods, you start with the builders who make motion feel inevitable. So Scotty Splash belongs in this conversation because he's a producer who makes drums feel alive without stealing the scene, who lets a pad open like a window, and he holds back small details so a second hook blooms. He's also more than a producer. He's a visual stylist who treats the cover art like bar 1 of a record. The music starts before you even press play when it comes to a Scotty record. To summarize Scotty's story, we can talk about momentum. From the jump, he married live-leaning percussion with digital precision. The kicks don't just thump, they land. The hats don't just tick, they swing. And even when a beat is clearly programmed in FL Studio, there's still a human push-pull inside of it. It's design, not an accident. He tucks groove into the negative space of a beat. Over time, Scotty shifted from beat that knocks to record that moves. The bass still carries weight, but it also carries a melody. The synths still shine, but they glow instead of glare. Arrangements reveal themselves in layers, and counter melodies appear on second hooks. Harmony shadows the bridge. Texture arrives in the last 8 bars, so the outro feels kind of like a curtain call. It's planned sequencing, not just loops and not just looping and not just throwing sounds and hoping it sticks. His growth is really about control, impact without crowding the vocal, brightness without brittleness, and space that guides the ear rather than shoving it. You hear the discipline in the mids because nothing fights, ever. Everything lifts. His choices create memory and replay value. So Scotty's style fits with confessional writers. If you give him a voice that wobbles between regret and resolve, he'll build a room where that voice can pace, sit, breathe, and think. The drums keep the pulse steady. The chords keep the light soft. And that's why his collaborations feel so authored, because he's not just supplying a beat, he's really setting the record's pace and arc. With artists in this lane, in this scene, Sewerperson amongst them, his role often stretches past producer because he lines up transitions so a verse slides into the hook. He thins instrumentation on the exact lyric that matters so it lands like a thesis. Look at her falling apart. I put some quads in my swisher. I remember when seeds would rip them apart. It like disease, bro. It's a perfect example of the things that Scotty can do on a beat to emphasize the lyrics. Even though Disease isn't a song that is lyrically heavy, it's still, Scotty knew what he was doing with that beat and gave the perfect layout to Sewer to make a banger that he's performing years later. Years later. He picks reverbs that match the imagined room that he's setting, not just a generic preset. Under it all is a mixer's brain. He's thinking about things. He's carving low mid pockets so vocals don't just box out the chords. He's letting a hat speak for 1/16 and then duck, panning a texture just enough to feel like air, not a distraction. It's the difference between a good idea and a clean, finished record. The real trick is modesty. He knows when to elevate and when to disappear. The track gets the bow, Scotty collects the applause in fidelity. This scene often chooses between two traps. It's keep lo-fi intimacy and get buried by noise, or chase the gloss and lose the diary page soul. Scotty's showing a third path. Polish without plastic. There's radio level clarity that preserves his fingerprints on the record. And his influence works upstream. Writers dare quieter lines because they know that the mix and the beat will honor them. Vocalists trust Scotty's space and sing a hair softer, letting breath and grit carry the meaning of the track. New producers study the drum language and realize transients can be crisp without turning sterile. Subs can be felt without flab. Mids can be full without crowding the record. Standards shift once you hear it done right by these producers that we're talking about tonight. Scotty's choruses don't just get louder, they get wider. Instead of stacking up sounds, he makes each sound count more. Influence isn't always a tag. It's a set of habits that other people end up adopting. And because his records translate literally everywhere, earbuds, cars, small rooms, the end in Nashville, Tennessee on September 27th, 24th, 27th. Without losing intimacy, his records announce that the underground isn't a rough draft. It's literature. Literally, like, look at us here. We're studying this stuff. It's literature. Scotty's polish respects the handwriting. He makes records shine without bleaching out his fingerprints, and it's clarity that preserves his character. Here's where he's rare. Scotty often handles cover art on a lot of the same records that he touches and does the full production on. Color palettes mirror chord palettes. Texture in the image echoes the snare's grain, and you arrive at the song already inside of a room that he designed himself. And that's continuity, not a decoration. A listener sees the cover at thumbnail size, taps in, and the first second sounds like the image felt. Visuals become a trust signal, his trust signal. Over time, his consistency has built a brand, his and the artist's. People start recognizing the Scotty look the same way that they recognize his drum decisions. Yo, Bank, I seen you said you got to hear his beats. I'm going to play some after I'm done with the passage that I have wrote for him. I'm going to play 3 songs from him, so hold tight, man. Where was I at? Overtime, consistency. Yeah, so people started to recognize the Scotty look the same way that they recognize his drum decisions. Because one mind steers both sound and look, motifs recur, and fonts that whisper instead of shout, photos feel lived in, and color temperatures that telegraph mood before bar 1. Single by single, audio and artwork behave like chapters of the same book. That's scene building. That's the title. That's scene building. Not just songs, worlds. So zoom in on the quiet choices you feel more than notice. There's drum programming that breathes. There's tiny velocity shifts and ghost notes nudging momentum and sparing open hats so the chorus shimmers without a static. Chorus is on a main pad, but controlled so the width doesn't wobble and pitch. There's vocal chains that honor imperfection and gentle decompression, a de-esser that partners with sibilance. Damn. So, thesaurus went crazy, bro. I can tell you that right now. And delay throws that underline a phrase instead of just flooding it. A single lead becomes a pad via automation. A background vocal turns percussive with a transient designer. A percussion loop pivots into a riser with a filter sweep or a tiny reverb throw. Like, these are all things that Scotty does on tracks into beats that you wouldn't think about until you're literally listening to just the beat. It's all intention. If you step back and look at it, it just becomes obvious that this is all planned. Scotty treats the silence like material, not emptiness, and he lets songs grow sideways, widening and expanding instead of only upwards. So the mixes on his track are built for people, not meters. They're clear enough to catch a whisper, strong enough to carry a shout. And then the visuals arrive as a preface, not an afterthought. They're cueing your ear before a single note. If the song sounds like Winter, the cover art is going to look like headlights on snow. Yo, Sam, we reaching the 4th grade reading level with this one. Thank you. I've been working on it, man. I gotta step up that 3rd grade reading level for real. It's fucking hilarious, yo. So yeah, the visuals arrive as a preface and not an afterthought, cueing your ear before a single note. And across it all runs a quiet truth in the listener. There's an assumption that you'll lean in if he gives you something worth leaning towards. That's why his records always feel sturdy on the first play and warmer on the 5th, because they're designed to be discovered rather than consumed in one bite. Some producers are architects, some are stylists. Scotty Splash is both. He's building the room and choosing the light. His records last not because they try to be bigger than they are, but because they're honest about their size and perfect in proportion. Anybody can press play and the song fits. You see the cover art and it matches. The art and the audio agree on how the world should feel for 3 minutes and change. That is authorship. And that is why tonight's trilogy starts here. Motion. I'm going to play 3 songs from Scotty Splash. All are pretty, not going to lie, they're pretty old. But this first one is an absolute schmacker. All right? If you knew anything about the Nine Tails era, you have to know something about this song, for real. Like, give it up. Give it up. Oh my God, it's not. Dude, Discord, when I need it to work, isn't working. Okay. The first song that I'm playing is way back from the Nine Tails era. That's how far back the history with Scotty goes. Before Sewerperson was even a thing. I'm not saying that it's worth more because, you know, Jabari and Eric came along for Sewer. I feel like it just showcases growth, which is the main reason why I had to include them tonight, because it's important to look at where you were versus where you are now. And then in, you know, another 5 years, we can take a look at this episode and be like, damn, they really came out with another album, you know? Like, Scotty, send beats so we can get another album. All right, so this first song, Nine Tails, OCAD. It's a nice little groove. I ain't gonna lie.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah. Artist with the words, I got my flow straight out of OCAD. Labels trading prices on me, artist in the NASDAQ. iPhone speaker all crash, someone might have tapped that. His girlfriend call me baby, I can't have her cause you tapped that. Enemies have been in there, I would never smash that. Okay. Call of Duty camping on the day they think I could crash. Sadness come with losing, guess I never been sad. I look anorexic but I'm eating from a mouse pad. I should get some food now, McDouble on my nightstand. Tommy T. All these girl will love you if you let them take stereo. You can't get that shit from me, this not a feel-good trip. Fragile feeling shit, I got a point. I can't miss this 2 a.m. She need that dick. Netflix isn't needed. By the time I got there, she was waiting to clean me up. Waiting to catch a soft heart like it used to be. Wide arms, I'd embrace him like a movie scene. Hard head is what the world had done to me. Fuck a fling, I've been pushing out my boundaries. Labels trading prices on me, artist in the NASDAQ. iPhone speaker all crash, someone might have tapped that. His girlfriend called me baby, I can't have her cause he tapped that. Enemies have been in there, I would never smash that. Call of Duty camping on the day they think I could crash. Sadness come with losing, guess I never been sad. I look anorexic but I'm eating from my mouse pad. I should get some food, now I'm a double on my nightstand. Music got them switching up, all these fuckers I can't trust. All these problems I keep hush, you should be glad I'm quiet, huh? Won't be done if I talk up, I say it to the camera. If you act up, that man call me wasting, he can't even waste my stamina. Yu-Gi-Oh, I challenge ya, fire on my track and I ain't even use my mana, huh? Rip a bowl and ravage ya, chimney smoke my throat, I'm spitting goodies, feel like Santa, huh? My bro look like Goku Blue and he just wanna damage ya. Hey,
Hey.
yeah. Okay, what's cool?
Artist with the words, I got my flow straight out of OCAD. Labels trading prices on me, artist in the NASDAQ. iPhone speaker all crash, someone might have tapped that. His girlfriend called me baby, I can't have her cause he tapped that. Enemies have been in there, I would never smash that. Call of Duty camping on the day they think I could crash. Sadness come with losing, guess I never been sad. I look anorexic but I'm eating from my mouse pad. I should get some food, now I'm a double on my nightstand.
Next song I'm playing is OKKK. K. OKKKK. The bod's dick sucking already, bro. No way. We good though.
Beat me up, Scotty.
It's a classic one. This one's classic, bro.
Hey. I just got sent it through. I'm about to make a heater. Beat me up, rolling zoo, pouring 30 by the liter. In a whip and it's blue. Had to park it like it's Peter. Got some heat in a boot, turning goofy to believer. Make her eye, then she ooh. Told me just a little higher. I came back out the blue for the night. I'm dropping fire. Take a seat by the booth. I got bottles and a driver. I got backwards and a liar. Say I'm good, but I'm a liar. Hey, what you want? Fuck you till I see the sun. I'ma fill it up. Tell your boy it's fist of cuffs. Since you something special, scoop you in a rental. Swear it to you like dental. I got sex all on my mental. Let me lay it down. We smoke by the pound. I got so much laying around. Take a quarter ounce. Fuck it, half a pound. I don't wanna see it no more. Feel like Lil Tracy. I've been selling like Lil Whore. Take 5, take 4. I just gotta take a break. I've been thrusting like an hour. Need some water, gonna say. Rolling leaves like I'm a Ray. From Woods, Bear Kush. Girl, you lucky you got me. Straight up, real top. I just gotta send it through. I'm about to make a heater. Beat me up, rolling zoo. Pouring 30 by the liter. In a whip and it's blue. Had to park it like it's Peter. Got some heat in a boot. Turning goofy to believer. Make her eye, then she ooh. Told me just a little higher. I came back out the blue for the night. I'm dropping fire. Take a seat by the booth. I got bottles and a driver. I got backwards and a liar. Say I'm good, but I'm a liar. Yeah, they spot spaceship too high. Need a grill. Bad lips, big split. No, we buy by the zip. Maybe run. Drinks a goose. Send some run. Now I'm drunk. Try to move. Look at me. I'm looking like a fool. Play me, make me sad cause I'm a tool. Got me falling. Got me testing back. I'm all in. See you stalling. I know that your man calling. Blonde hair, big list. Man, I want it. Juicy white hair, slate flaunting. And I can't go out. Start thinking what I'm about. Half of these bitches you want cloud. I said, I done me go these bitches and ball out. I just gotta send it through. I'm about to make a heater. Beat me up, rolling zoo. Pouring 30 by the liter. In a whip and it's blue. Had to park it like it's Peter. Got some heat in a boot. Turning goofy to believer. Make her eye, then she ooh. Told me just a little higher. I came back out the blue for the night. I'm dropping fire. Take a seat by the booth. I got bottles and a driver. I got backwards and a liar. Say I'm good, but I'm a liar. Yeah.
You literally, yo, he sounds so young in that song. Like, that's crazy how old it is, bro. Still a banger, though. Still a banger. This last one I talked about. If you went to any of the shows, I believe he's played it at like all of the tours, bro. This is one that It's disease. I don't even gotta say nothing, bro. Like, this is one that I go crazy to, bro. This song is absolutely insane, bro.
Look at it falling apart. I put some quads on my switch. I remember when C's would rip them apart. I'm blowing sticky, I'm blowing disease. I got this shark on my shoulders. Lately it's Scotty been feeling on me. I pop the hits in the dark. Diamonds hot biz in the dark. I had to swim with the sharks. High fashion jet like the ocean on me. Baby could get in the car. She barely fitting, no Saint Laurent jeans. Grabbing my crush for the port. Her man just texting my phone with a beef. Her got me bored. I sip on the drink and my power restores. Where she at? I bought a shawty some patches and that bitch away in the back. Muscle relax. I took a perk, a pill and I'm feeling massage on my back. Going too fast, triple up dash, blow by headlights too bright on the 4-1. Panic attack, bitch be smoking on kush too much, screen out and it going up. I got a blast, took a little bitch to the condo, Prono, Sub Toronto. Let me on text, she mad when I never said back like eggs and dick and Bono. He beat it up, I'm throwing out combo. She gon' hit the high note, soprano. Blowing gas, propane in the shit. Shit, I might blow up in it. Look at it falling apart. I put some quads on my switch. I remember when C's would rip them apart. I'm blowing sticky, I'm blowing disease. I got this shark on my shoulders. Lately it's Scotty been feeling on me. I pop the hits in the dark. Diamonds hot biz in the dark. I had to swim with the sharks. High fashion jet like the ocean on me. Baby could get in the car. She barely fitting, no Saint Laurent jeans. Grabbing my crush for the port. Her man just texting my phone with a beef. Her got me bored. I sip on the drink and my power restores.
So those were 3 songs that Scotty produced. All 3 are OCAD is like ancient to this discography, bro. That's from Nine Tails. If you know anything about Sewer, you know Nine Tails forever ago. OKKKK is from Green. It's from the Color EPs. Green, which is one of the first albums that Sewerperson actually dropped. It's kind of an EP, not an album, but yeah, so that's ancient too. And Disease is pretty old too, from Beam Cannon. We got Disease way before we even got Beam Cannon, so they kind of just threw that on because Scotty produced it. So 3 songs by Scotty that I feel like reinforce what I said about him in my passages. Without Green, there wasn't really, what are you, be for real. Without Scotty Splash, bro, would Sewer be where he's at right now? I'm not saying that Scotty is to like the main reason, but like the songs that they did together are so monumental. Like OCAD was a fucking, like, that shit is so fire, bro. Like, shout out to Scotty, bro. If you see this, we love you. This is me giving you your flowers in this conversation. Thank you for everything you do, Scotty. Hope to see more of your work soon. Keep going. I see you post your cover arts, and I see you post all your stuff, bro. Like, all fire, bro. You are, like Sam said, you are the OG backbone of NV. Deadass. So, guys, from motion, we're moving to mood. Next up, Jabari on the beat. Let me take another sip of water. This is starting to get heated. Personally, this isn't in my script or anything. I didn't talk too much about hip-hop aesthetics, but I feel like Jabari is somebody who we have to thank. We have to thank Jabari for his collaborations with Sewer over the years, not just Comets, everything from March of the Undead, from all of the singles that they put out, the Sewer X Jabari tape that we have, Miles Per Hour, the newest album. We have so much to thank him for because Jabari is so talented and has so many connections in the hip-hop scene, like the actual hip-hop industry. We really need to thank him. He is an innovator. He's somebody who made a lot of the aesthetics that we hear in today's underground scene, cool. There's people doing hip hop aesthetics, but there wasn't anybody like you know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself. I really appreciate the fact that Jabari's staying true to his roots, which is another reason why I had to speak about him tonight. So, when you think about architects of the underground, the people who built its emotional spine, your first instinct, of course, is to name the rappers, singers, vocalists, artists. But underneath all of that underneath every single voice that cracked on a mic at 2 a.m., there's a producer who's translating chaos into form. And for this corner of the underground, one name sits at the foundation: Jabari on the beat. If you've been listening to Sewerperson for any length of time at all, you've heard of Jabari and you've heard his music. He's the quiet heartbeat under so many of the moments that stuck with the people. The ones that don't just make you nod, they make you pause. There's something distinctly cinematic about his work. Sorry, gang. Have a nice... Yo, peace out, Sam. Thanks for popping through, even if it was for a couple minutes. You can always watch the episodes back. They're live on YouTube. You show support, so don't be sorry, man. Don't be sorry, fam. You're all good. We're all... I understand. Everybody has a life. Really appreciate that, for real. I watch them back every time. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I watch them too. And then there's some parts where I'd be like, yo, you cooked, Dev. And then there's other times where I'm just like, damn, Dev, you gotta chill. But yeah, thanks for coming out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next week. The ones that don't just make you nod, they make you pause. There's something distinctly cinematic about Jabari's work, because it doesn't necessarily shout at you. It breathes, it lingers, it's smoke in the lungs, it's winter air through a cracked window. It's refreshing. Every time I hear a Jabari song, it's refreshing. You hear him all over Sewer's catalog, more specifically on the new album, and we broke down Frost on My Grave. Frost on My Grave is credited to Jabari on the beat alongside Mello and My Boy Beats by Kimpe, who is a fucking goat, by the way. And they also did a collaboration album pretty recently, I think, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years at this point, Screwy, where the two built an entire mood board together. That's the clearest look at how he moves. He's not just supplying beats and creating an atmosphere. He's pacing the records, and he's creating a kind of space that vocals can survive in, especially hip hop aesthetics. Like a lot of producers, he started in a darker trap pocket of SoundCloud, 808 aggressions and beats that punched and snarled, and then even then you could feel him chasing a mood, not just a rhythm. Over time, he started stripping away the obvious and layering the emotional. The bass stayed, but it started to mourn. It warped. The melodies slowed, pads took over, and suddenly his music wasn't about showing a force. It was about showing depth. That evolution wasn't just technical, it was philosophical. Instead of making a beat that demands attention, he learned to make a world that invites it in. The kick still hits, but it no longer has to prove it hits. The snare still speaks, but it speaks in the tone of confession. Pads become rooms, delays become hallways. You're not being pushed through a track, you're being guided through a designed space. When Jabari and Sewer lock in, the result feels less like a song and more like a world, like an environment. He doesn't just provide the beat because he's sculpting an emotional temperature with the backings and the instrument choices that he makes. The beat for Frost on My Grave mirrors the song's numb resignation, and his restraint on the production makes the vocal feel so much heavier. You can almost hear the silence between notes acting as punctuation. That balance right there defines their partnership. Sewer writes like someone documenting a slow apocalypse inside of himself. And Jabari scores it like a film composer who knows explosions aren't always loud. The restraint, the cold spaciousness, that's Jabari's hand. He turns pain into atmosphere. His approach helped codify what people now call the melancholic atmospheric sewercore palette. It's production that feels intimate, like it's happening in a cold bedroom at 3 a.m. He's part of the reason the underground shifted towards emotional realism over loudness. Before this wave, a lot of the underground was defined by raw energy. Jabari helped slow that down. He gave the emotion room to echo. His production said, you don't have to scream to be intense. You don't have to stack layers to make something hit. Sometimes one sound, one pad, and a single distorted snare is enough. Jabari's blueprint showed you can hit modern loudness and still hear the crack in a voice, the ghost note in a bar. The moment a syllable falters and tells the truth, all of it. He brought engineering discipline to confessionals and made them sustainable. Going way back to a lot of our introductions to Sewerperson, I truly believe this was the algorithmic play for Sewerperson, where a lot of people who wouldn't have found him found him. Comet is originally where that restraint turned into reach. He trimmed intros to the bone, let negative space do a lot of lifting, built second hooks that opened outward instead of pushing loudness and volume. The result of Comet was algorithmic candy without gimmicks. There was high saves, high new listeners every single day, lower skip rates, and repeat listens that are driven by mood rather than shock. A cult fan base formed from that Comet album. Drums stayed measured, bass carried a real note, an aesthetic, and the vocal sat unbothered in a room-size mix that's perfect for phones and late-night headphones alike. Comet is amazing to listen to late night. We all know that. If you're a hardcore fan of Sewerperson, you know that, like, Comet late night vibes, whether you're gaming, no matter what you got going on, it hits perfect. Those late night headphones, lights down, locked in. So Comet didn't chase virality. It engineered a return value that has proven itself time and time again. Meanwhile, Jabari was landing major placements in the industry, far beyond the underground. He has several tracks with my personally favorite West Coast rapper, Mozzie. He has credits with UK rapper Nines, and even has songs with the New York legends A Boogie and Lil TJ. Yo, shout out Eric, yo. Thanks for popping in, bro. Your part's coming up here in probably about 10 minutes, bro. Much love. I love Scotty and Jabari too, bro. They're phenomenal. All of you guys are phenomenal. You guys all deserve all credit, for real. But his crossovers between all of those artists that I just named, the major placements, shows that his touch travels and translates. There's Bronx Drill, there's Cali G Rap, there's UK Trap, there's late night emo confessions, all carrying the same emotional honesty. Jabari favors drums that carry intention, not attention. Intention. Kicks that read warm, snares that feel there, hats that speak in short syllables. His harmony choices stay charged without theatrics. Reverb and delay act like storytelling tools, and he sizes the room for the song to the lyric. A short plate makes a confession intimate. A long tail makes remorse feel like weather. The arrangements show patience. Verse 1 introduces the world, verse 2 shows the corners, and the second hook widens. What lasts about Jabari's work is confidence. He doesn't crowd a mix with proof. He trusts the strength of a single idea. Look at Muck. Look at some of the songs that we've gotten. He trusts his ability. He knows what he's doing, and he trusts his ability. That patience lets the vocal be vulnerable without getting swallowed. You can hear his fingerprint before a voice even enters. The ceiling feels high, the air is cold, the floor is steady, and his tone, his drums became a watermark, a kind of quiet authority. You hear it and you know it's him. Over time, that authority mentored a wave of newer producers in the scene. There's a lot of people who took inspiration from his aesthetics. They learned that you can make a record feel expansive without making it sterile. Be minimal without it being empty. Be emotional without melodrama. His pacing, the slow reveal, the bridge that exhales, the ending that acknowledges rather than explodes, became part of the underground's grammar. Yo, have a great night, Eric. Thanks for popping in even for a couple minutes, bro. I hope you enjoy what I have to say about you, bro. It means a lot that you even stopped in just to check it out, bro. Happy Halloween. Very excited to see what y'all are brewing for us tomorrow, G. Thank you, bro. His approach travels across genres. His influence cross-pollinates. Artists carry his discipline into new spaces, and listeners learn to expect clarity and emotion coexisting. That's scene building as ecology, not just architecture. Jabari's production lets emotion breathe, and that's not easy. For a lot of producers, crowd the vocal with their own ego. Sometimes there's too many fills. Excuse me. There's too many fills. There's too much brightness, too much low-end flex. Jabari clearly listens more than he talks. It's why the song that I keep going back to, Frost on My Grave, hits so hard without hitting hard. The sonic choices don't just support the lyric, they mirror it. You hear loneliness, but also dignity in that loneliness. If you want the technical summary, he builds mixes that protect the human parts of a performance. He carves without hollowing. He brightens without bleaching. He compresses without flattening. The waveform looks modern, and the feeling stays ancient and familiar, time and time again. So when I call him a scene builder, I literally mean that. His sound laid bricks of an aesthetic that people are still building on. It's the intersection of hip-hop, sadness, spaciousness, and self-awareness. He's not trying to dominate a mix. He's trying to disappear into it. And that's why his work lasts, because it's unselfish. And maybe that's one of the highest forms of scene building. Not being the loudest voice in the room, but the one whose silence changes how everyone else listens. I'm going to put on 3 Jabari songs now. Vibe out, drink some water. And I believe these songs help concrete the fact that Jabari is one of the most important building blocks of the scene that we support. First song I'm going to play. Hang on, cooperate with me, Discord. The first song I'm going to play tonight, not tonight, but during this, is Humble off of Comet. Comet 1, produced by Jabari on the beat. One of my favorite ones, dude. This is insane. Baby, what you do? You and I gotta keep it moving. I gotta keep it moving.
That's what got me losing. Baby, what you do? And I got some hottest view. And I gotta keep it moving.
Okay.
Drop a blue pin and now my vision zooming. She going through it, I gotta keep it moving. I'm too cold in it, bitch, I set a tone in it, bitch. I got a 750 special up Patron in it, bitch. I'm popping parks and this shit was going on in it, bitch. He started singing 40 minutes going long in it, bitch.
Bank shared my live, y'all. Shout out to Bank for real, bro.
I got a royal up there with 2 tones on my wrist. It's on a positive time for leopard printed silk. Come, I think I worked too hard to go ahead with staying humble by this shit.
That's love for real. Shout out to my brother, man. Tone in it, bitch. I got a 750 special up Patron in it, bitch. Started singing 40 minutes going long. Okay. This came out fucking. I got a check for you, bro. It's like 2020. Yeah, bro. This song came out in 2020. Word.
I'm too cold in it, bitch. I set a tone in it, bitch. I got a 750 special up Patron in it, bitch. I'm popping parks and this shit was going on in it, bitch. He started singing 40 minutes going long in it, bitch. I'm blowing bands on my shit, it's green and red on my switch. I got a royal up there with 2 tones on my wrist. It's on a positive time for leopard printed silk. Come, I think I worked too hard to go ahead with staying humble about this shit, yeah.
What you do, and I got some hot that view. Next song I'm gonna be playing is my personal favorite off of Comet 4. I can't even lie. I think this is probably one of the best songs that I've ever heard from them. Absolute fire. This is called Traffic.
Dead on me, underground. If I press a room, do you feel it now? Oh, I get it now. Seem obvious that I see it now. You were sick of me, being around you. Eventually, I just lost the value giving me. Look at me now. Only if you try to stick on me. Not the same. Most of the shit that you try to relate. Half the opinions I cannot relate. She told me, baby, I know what you think about how the fuck you know what's up in my brain. Now I'm blowing this cookie, she in a cocaine. But how you afford that on minimum wage? She pushing my demons, I'm burning the sage. Look what you did to me. You just an enemy. On the facade, trying to act like a friend of me. I'm not no dummy, I see through the plot. I pack and grab it when rolling my pot. She on my phone like I miss you a lot. Then why you the one that gave me the drop first? Yeah, fuck all the feelings I felt, I just stuff them away in a lot. Curse up top, dead on me, underground. If I press a wound, do you feel it now? Oh, I get it now, seem obvious that I see it now. You were sick of me, being around you. Eventually, I just lost the value giving me. Look at me now, only if try to stick on me. Queen West better in the nighttime. I think I'm allergic to daylight. Oh, you been thinking, my baby, just tell me your piece right now. Then I'll speak when I don't have the patience. Say you thought I did. No, sorry, this ain't supposed to be how this relationship goes. No, she said one more chance, girl, it's not encore. You can't get that through your skull. I know in one ear and out it goes. Would you want me to break it down? I know you only sorry because I keep my pants filled with large amounts. You in love, not with me, it's my bank account. I know, dead of me, underground. If I press a boom, do you feel it now? Rid of me, oh I get it now. Seem obvious that I see it now. You were sick of me, being around you. Eventually, I just lost the value giving me. Look at me now, only if you try to stick on me. Dead of me, underground. If I press a boom, do you feel it now? Oh I get it now. Seem obvious that I see it now. You were sick of me, being around you. Eventually, I just lost the value giving me. Look at me now, only if you try to
Stick with me. Next one I'm playing, I played as an intro song for a couple. I think I played it as an intro and an outro for a couple episodes. I ain't gonna lie. This album that came out recently is so fire. This Miles Per Hour album is absolutely insane. I'm so happy that Jabari and Sewer linked up again for this, and they dropped it in the one pieces like they used to way back. This one's called League of Problem Solvers.
Sewer.
Bottle of Berry, I'm up in this booth and I'm ordering more. I got some money I'll use for fun. If I don't want it, what is it for? Pass for grace, I'm leaving you here to be angry as long as you want. I just surprise myself and I try to make more than I already got.
So here's the message I'm sending out to Jabari on the beat.
Finish the bottle of baby, I'm up in this booth and I'm ordering more. I got some money I use for fun. If I don't want it, what is it for? Pass for grace, I'm leaving you here to be angry as long as you want. I can surprise myself and I try to make more than I already got. Baby, I'm under attack. They shot my brain, they shot my back. How could I ever relax? I don't even sleep, I don't even nap. People I knew from the jump, they switching me now and they all on my ass. You're being inside of my dreams, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to trap. Me and Jabari, you're back, I see no waves, under attack. Girl, don't be like that, 'cause you know that I'm busy, I'm right on smack. I put my blood in my head and I hop in a Buick and push down flat. I could be here all the time, I know that you dripping, I hit when I'm back. I pop out this on his way to clean up being his budget. I walk by this kush, my son just like blueberry muffins. I smoke 'cause I love it, my bitch love it too, who doesn't? Buy it, I just dropped it, put us right back in discussion. She like how the fabric feel, she like the LV buttons. I like how the steering feel, and I like the way it's cutting. I can't find my phone, but really I'm waiting till it's out buzzing. I know what to say right now, and I'm better at saying nothing to me. Before my heart dies, you could get me right. I just know, baby, lean into me. And for the last time, whisper in my ear how I ought to fade. Take me on my word, I know it's worthless as a wait. And just like you, I'm struggling to find purpose in this state. Now I'm like blessed or vague, I carry my pain on my back like a jersey, I'm wearing my brand. Heard what I said, but I say it again. I just pop on the stage, I'm laying my hand down. Finish the bottle of baby, I'm up in this booth and I'm ordering more. I got some money I use for fun. If I don't want it, what is it for? Pass for grace, I'm leaving you here to be angry as long as you want. I can surprise myself and I try to make more than I already got. Baby, I'm under attack, they shot my brain, they shot my back. How could I ever relax? I don't even sleep, I don't even nap. People I knew from the jump, they switching me now and they all on my ass. Even inside of my dreams, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to try.
That sounds sick, bro. So take me on my word, I know it's worthless as of late. Just like you, I'm struggling to find purpose in this place. Now I'm lighting bliss in my venue. I carry my pain on my back like a jersey. I'm wearing my brand. You heard what I said, I'll say it again. Come on, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? That shit, bro. See, I think Jabari, bro, like, if you like listen to the first song to that song that I just played, bro, the first song, the second song, and the last song are different eras of Jabari. That first era is that Drake type beat, you know? That second era is like him blossoming from that, I want to say. And this third era from miles per hour is, we said it in the stream where we were breaking down Frost on My Grave. This is the culmination of all of the work until now, for real. Dev spitting, yo, chill. Those were Sewer's lyrics. Those were Sewer's lyrics, guys. I'll do it again. No, I'm kidding. Okay. I'm gonna move on to Eric now, guys. I think those 3 songs perfectly summarized what I was saying about Jabari, concreted it into cement. There's no other way to say it other than he's one of the most important scene builders that we're ever going to talk about, bro. Like, without Jabari, Sewerperson wouldn't be where he's at right now. Without Scotty, Sewerperson wouldn't be where he's at right now. Without this guy who came into our chat, bro, Eric was literally just here a couple minutes ago. Without Eric, Sewerperson wouldn't be where he's at. The whole idea of this episode and this segment is to give them their flowers. Scene Builders 1, I gave Gucci Highwaters, Garden, and Swain their flowers. Scene Builders 2, I just gave Scotty and Jabari their flowers. Now, we're going to move on to Eric Godlow, the lo-fi godfather. So, if the underground scene has a North Star for clarity, it's Eric Godlow. He's a producer who can make a whisper read like a headline. He's the arranger who gives a song enough spine to stand upright without ironing out the tremble in its voice. If you press play on a Godlow track, you don't just hear parts, you feel the plan. The kick isn't flexing, it's load bearing. The drum pads don't fog the room, they frame confession. Everything breathes like a well intentionally designed space. You know his work even if you don't think you do. I promise. If you're watching this right now and you're like, I've never heard an Eric beat, I promise you have heard an Eric Godlow beat on an Instagram story, whether it's one of Sewer's songs or your friends if they make music. The pairing with Sewerperson gave us Dream Hopping, It's Expanded 2.0, and Eyeball Soup. Records that taught the scene how to be intimate without sounding small. Alongside that sits the long arc with Swain that we broke down before. Well, not broke down, but talked about briefly. 1.6 Source in Ravenholm. A trilogy that turned pacing and mood into principles. Across both catalogs, the subtext reads the same. Arrangement first, music first, ego nowhere. So Eric's early sound carried lo-fi fingerprints, dust on keys, soft edge snares, basses that hummed more than growled. And that era taught economy. Save more with less. Then make the pieces behave. You get that? Over time, that picture sharpened. The bedroom part of bedroom pop faded. The pop part, clarity, pacing, continuity, graduated. Somewhere along the path, the music stopped auditioning and started supporting, because the kick became structure, not a spectacle. Drum pads widened but stayed legible. Most importantly, the writing, the composition shifted from loops to sequences. Verse 1 and verse 2 aren't carbon copies. They evolve the pressure. Hooks broaden instead of shouting, and bridges relieve tension rather than slack it, because relief makes people listen again. So, behind that technical pivot is a philosophy. Restraint as respect for the singer and for the listener and for the lyric. The temptation to overprove is replaced by a taste for timing. He selects, omits, and staggers arrivals so the messages land without clutter. Minimalism here is an emptiness, it's focus. Two gravitational partnerships define this: Sewerperson and Swain. With Sewer, the writing lives between resignation and resolve. Godlow's job is to frame that range without sanding off the edges. He uses negative space like punctuation. He lets a tale decay all the way out because the silence after a word is part of the word. You feel it all. Ambience is sized to a lyric, not to trend. You don't notice the rooting in a Godlow's track. You notice that the heart stays intact throughout it all. With Swain, with Swain, the collaboration stretches album deep every time. Like literally, like these dudes can't make one song together. It's always multiple. I'm not complaining, but like it's fascinating. With Swain, the collaborations stretch album deep. Those records behave like neighborhoods, and each block is distinct, but all sharing zoning laws. You move through them and it all makes sense. Under the hood sits the engineers half of the marriage. Godlow produces like a songwriter, so instead of hyping the vocal into clarity, he clears the arrangement so the voice can sit bright at human volume. He'll leave a hi-hat pocket blank so a consonant can sparkle. Quiet decisions with loud consequences. The story arrives intact and the performance stays human. Every era imitates someone's drops. This one copies Eric's discipline. People emulate his centered subs, his generous mid-range, the highs that shine without slicing. They borrow the habit of crafting hooks that breathe, and they leave air so moments bloom instead of blare. That's how a scene's average rises, by raising the mean, not changing peaks. This is becoming basis. He's done it all in the open. YouTube uploads, BeatStars catalogs, reposting, clearly labeled stems. Newer producers learn by osmosis. Label neatly, EQ politely, arrange and reveals. You show up for a free instrumental and leave with a new habit. And that accessibility turns process into culture. Another dimension of scene building here is portability. Godlow's mixes travel, phones, cars, small rooms, without losing his handwriting. That portability turns diary pages into releases, and releases into sets that people can perform without reinventing the wheel. A sound that survives translation survives time. Most producers have to watermark themselves with tags. Eric watermarks himself with his tone and his production choices. Before a voice even enters with his producer tag, 99% of the time, you can often tell that it's him. It isn't a sound that you can sample. It's a set of constraints. It's a centered low end, unhurried pacing, highs that shine without slicing. You can imitate components, but you can't fake the discipline that binds them. Public facing, the footprint mirrors the identity. There's years of steady releases under the same names, the same channels, the same ethic, punctuated by flag plant projects that set a standard other people reference. Evening. The workshop stays open, but the standards stay high. The consistency and that steadiness is part of the trust people feel when they hit play. Scenes mature when they learn to present feeling as well as feel it. Godlow accelerates that maturity. He proves diarists can keep page corner tears and still print the book on good paper. He provides a delivery mechanism for sensitivity, records that hold together in mood, pacing, and mixed philosophy so the audience can return to them and not just want to encounter them once. There's replay value in all of his music. That influence runs so deep in two directions at once. Upstream, writers make bolder choices because they trust that his outline is going to protect them. Downstream, listeners feel and become more demanding. They start expecting the clarity in that space, and they notice when choruses widen instead of just getting louder. They care that the bass supports the track, the vocals, rather than bulldozing it and clipping. That expectation raises the bar for the whole underground sound. There's also the live dimension. If you've been to a show, you know that a godlow calibrated record steps onto a small room PA without panic. Everything sounds amazing. You can feel audiences relax because they don't have to fight mixes to find the lyric when Sewer's performing Eric tracks live. There's also longevity. There's trends that love spectacle. Architecture loves times. Architecture loves time. The reason that Eric's records age so well is simple, because they're built on choices that honor voice in writing. Tastes evolve, tools change, but integrity about space, balance, and pacing keeps paying dividends. You can remaster a moment, but you can't remaster a gimmick into meaning. He works simple on purpose. I mean, fewer sounds, each doing real work. One pad feels like the room a lyric lives on. Another bass tone carries a note and weight, moving just enough to suggest feeling without tipping. It seems like Eric sculpts tone around the voice that he's working with or intending to work with. If the vowels are fragile, the percussion cushions it. If the cadence snaps, he leaves air for it to echo. Even the pauses on his beat feel perfectly timed and worked through. Calculated. It's a rest that lets the listener catch the heartbeat, and a decay that turns into memory. Under all of it is a simple stance. The performance comes first. Tools help, ears decide. It's loud enough for the timeline, but not at the cost of the wrinkle in the voice. It's wide enough to feel modern, but never so wide that it loses its center of gravity. Bright enough to invite you in and not push you back. Eric is phenomenal. Yeah, I'm ready to hear his beats. What's the word, Axie? Yo, shout out to Axie for popping through. Good looks, bro. Bank, you'll hear, I'm going to be playing 3 songs here in a couple sentences. I'm sure that you'll love these too, because it's storytelling stuff, bro. Like, Eric's amazing, bro. So Eric's influence shows up 3 ways at once. In a mix, there's centered subs, lived in mid-range, and highs that invite instead of pierce. In the arrangement, hooks that open out, bridges that recenter the ear, and outros that actually resolve. And in us, the consumers, the listeners, people press play expecting clarity and then return because that expectation and the feeling of clarity has always been handled with care. Jabari builds space, Scotty drives the movement, and Eric brings it all into focus while keeping the humanity intact. He roots emotion through structure, so the performance survives the trip from Sewer's bedroom to the world. He reminds a noisy culture that presentation isn't deodorant for art. It's the frame that lets art be seen. And that's the quiet magic here. In a world hooked on crescendo, he champions proportion. He lets the voice be the protagonist and designs everything else to help that voice be understood. That's why these records don't just land. They stick. They last. They give you a home to return to, not just a moment to pass. So, when we talk about scene builders, we're not only talking about the people who make songs. We talk about people who make conditions. Godlow's condition is clarity with a heartbeat. Modern enough to travel, human enough to matter. That's the North Star. That's the standard. That's why Eric Godlow deserves his name, and his name deserves its flowers during this conversation. Eric is the backbone of the underground. I'm going to play these 3 songs by him now that I believe will support what I just said about him. Eric's somebody that none of us would be here right now in this Discord, on this YouTube, doing a podcast. None of us would be here right now if we didn't get some Eric albums, for real. These 3 people that I talked about in episode 17 are so essential to the career that we support. I just hope everybody pays attention, not to just what they're doing with Sewer, but what they're doing with other artists too, because it really matters. They don't have to collab, you know. People don't have to collaborate with other people once they find their artist that it's working out for, you know. And Eric is somebody who's so generous with it too. Dude's reposted when I made music, he reposted my music. Like, Eric is so real, bro. Like, he deserves his flowers. So we're gonna listen to 3 songs by him right now. This first one, it's a heart wrencher. Cottage Country, off of, I believe, Oak Flesh, right? That's Oak Flesh. Yep, Oak Flesh. It's crazy. You can hear the landscape.
Shift through the hallways, up to the driveway. She's kissing my forehead, shaping my cold face. Breaking the pine trees, I'm back in my old place. The cottage behind me reminds me of old days. I'm going to sleep.
Bags, especially on the rain. With the rain we got.
Baby, I'm stuck in the car. I cannot see through this fog. Covering up blood in my sky. I cannot breathe through the smoke. Even alone in the dark. We cannot forget who we are. The highlights of her face cut to my vision on this 20 summer evening at the bird of this far. Cottage behind me reminds me of old days. Shift through the hallways, up to the driveway. She's kissing my forehead, shaping my cold face, breaking the pine trees. I'm back in my old place. The cottage behind me reminds me of old days.
That was Cottage Country from Oak Flesh. First song out of 3 that we're playing for Eric. The second song that I'm playing is another favorite that a lot of people like to hear at shows. It's a different genre. When it came out, we weren't exactly expecting this. Low-key, the music video to it is fucking hilarious, bro. Like, I absolutely love the music video to this. Like, they both kind of like, I'm not saying they didn't want to be there or anything, but they're both like, damn, it's cold, you know? Like, yeah. So Hell in a Cell, produced by Eric Godlow. This shit crazy. Yo, the bot, bro. Why is the bot doing this?
Sleep back, 40 and on function like a Kit Kat. Chit chat, I'll be getting coffee if I did that. Quick blast, you might need a bridge because of whip fast. Ice cat, roll up in his bullet, peel the shit back. Port that, X inside my cut like it's a card that. I spilled that, shit just dribbled down off of my Gore-Tex. I've been with hyenas in it, bitch, like it's a outback. Body snatch, that's just not a way that you can fix that. Ice, starting to think my necklace might have got into a fight. Ice, she put on my blunt, gon' have me flying like a kite. He came with his bitch, I made him throw wheel like a trike. If I make a play, my boy gon' catch it like a flight. Sleep, we move in the night. She said I'm the only one who ever hit it right down. I'm not even nice. Better than her boyfriend knows he canceled on her twice. Buckle down my TGC, gon' eat me like it's rice. Sleep back, 40 and on function like a Kit Kat. Chit chat, I'll be getting coffee if I did that. Quick blast, you might need a bridge because of whip fast. Ice cat, roll up in his bullet, peel the shit back.
It's that funk music, bro. There's a different jive to that one. It's crazy. That was Hell in a Cell. The next song we're playing is off of Detour. It's called I Saw an Angel, It Was Crying. Fairly short one, but I feel like it's beautiful. Had to include it.
I think I got rest on my halo. You can change the world from a condo. Light the beacon up and let the flame grow. Eventually you gon' realize that's the way it go. I could get I'm crying with my eyes closed. Plenty suicide in this time zone. I just found a bomb, drop an iPhone. I just saw the devil wearing polo. I just saw my future in a bullet hole. I just made a pact with a monster. And I just killed myself and then I spawned here. And I could feel the world will die by next year. And I just met an Oricon Queen tree. And they told me the future ain't like no one else would leave me. I just try to formula it down, try to meet me. I just pull my cloak over my head and they can't see me.
Listen to
Who the fuck else doing this shit like me? It's no one.
that.
It's Snow White. Who the fuck else capable of doing this shit like me? I promise you it's no one, it's no one. I think I got rust on my halo.
Yo, if y'all are here, drop
I
W's in
think
the
I got
chat,
rust on
man.
my halo. I think I got rust
Ain't
on
starting
my
the W
halo.
train. Where the W's at, chat? That's crazy, bro. I feel like those 3 Eric songs like sum up not just the growth, but the importance too. You have the mix, you have the vibey late night vibes, cottage country, you got the club turn uppy hell in a cell, and then you have that declaration at the end, you know, like who the fuck else is capable of doing this like me? I swear it's no one. I feel like that's didn't just come from Sewer. Like, yeah, it's a bar that Sewer wrote, but it speaks for Eric too, because who's doing it like Eric? Who can produce insane amounts of music at high quality like Eric? For real. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We just reached the end of my segment that I got for you tonight. So that's all for Scene Builders, Associates of the Sewer, Part 2. I feel like it's it's wild how much a sound can carry a feeling, and how a beat can say just as much as a verse. Scotty Splash, Jabari, and Eric all remind us that production isn't just the backdrop, it's part of the storytelling. So next week, we're going to be back here, same time, same place. I'm still working out final details, not trying to leak too much. So info is going to come soon on that. If you weren't here in the beginning, we have a new question of the week. Which producer in the underground makes you stop and rewind every time? Drop a comment on Instagram when I put the flyer up there for the question of the week. Do /confess in any channel of the Sewerperson Discord. That's right here. I got you, Bank. I got you. I'll do it. I'll do that. Drop /confess in any channel of this Discord that's right here. It'll work in literally any channel that you can type in, and it anonymously goes to me. So if you want me to say your name on stream, include your name in your submission. Thank you guys for 17 weeks. It's amazing. Whether there's one person, 10 people, 60 people, or 100 people, I don't care. It feels great to keep going. Tonight the community was engaged throughout almost the whole thing. We had Doa watching us from a new city in a hotel. Like, that's fire, man. I appreciate everybody coming out and showing love. I'm gonna play one song that I was requested to play because I love that song, and then we're gonna end. Bank's like, yo, this song finna be fire. Yeah, so this song that I'm playing right here is, we're all familiar with them. It's Kennedy XOXO, Bull in a China Shop. Thank you guys for listening tonight, for real. It's a lot of fun. I love talking about producers that I love and music that I love. Always fun.
It don't make sense to me. You say I'm not just anyone, but I'm no superhero. There's no way that I'll save everyone. I just need room to breathe. If death wants me, then let him come. I bet that when you left, that was the best thing that you've ever done. I hear that people make mistakes. I make the same exact ones every single day. I get up and then I fall flat on my face. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I lost count of all the battles that I've lost. Feels like no one even listens when I talk. I ruin everything I touch, I'm trying to stop. It's like I'm a bull in a china shop. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. It's like I'm a bull in a china shop. Little soldier told you, baby, you ain't finna break me. I was stuck inside my head, but I was trying to break free. Watch my mama in the hospital, wish God would take me, but I know that's not how it works, so I've been trying to make peace with it. That boy is a monster, don't know what the fuck she sees, and I pray that there's a God, I'm not sure if I still believe in him. Lately I've been smoking just to make sure that I'm breathing. My family's on the line, but I still can't afford the treatment. It feels like I'm telling you my dirty little secret. I ain't never do this shit for money, now I need it. Everybody gave me the cold shoulder, I'm freezing. No one ever told me we grow older from grieving. Prime James Harden, I'm tired of playing defense. I'm the last true artist, I'm spiraling off the deep end. Scars are my reminder, so I'll never let you see them. It looks like all my failures outweigh all of my achievements.
There's this link to go buy merch. I'll drop it in the Discord too.
It don't make sense to me. You say I'm not just anyone, but I'm no superhero. There's no way that I'll save everyone. I just need room to breathe. If death wants me, then let him come. I bet that when you left, that was the best thing that you've ever done. I don't wanna hear that people make mistakes. I make the same exact ones every single day. I get up and then I fall flat on my face. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I lost count of all the battles that I've lost. Feels like no one even listens when I talk. I ruin everything I touch, I'm trying to stop. It's like I'm a bull in a china shop.
Fire. Alright guys, I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you for listening. This was episode 17 of Conversations in the Sewer, the podcast from the people who built the community for those who live in it. I'll see you guys same place, same time next Thursday. We're going to end on our theme song. Hope everybody has a great night. Love y'all. Smoke some good weed. That's all I got. Have a good night, guys.
Yes, all night up until it gets sunny. I'll be alright with this potion in my tummy. Yeah, this is my shit, you cannot take it from me. I get toxic when it comes to how I'm loving you. Know love's a mosh pit and I think I'm seeing red. I'll be honest, I can't get you on my head. I know you know that feeling, you know that feeling. Know you love that feeling, you know that feeling. Yeah. Oh, you know, baby, I can break you in good. I said don't you try, but you know I wish you would. Cause I can show you things you never heard before I told you. I can give you more than just a dream that I sold you. I'm back in my place with a 5 on a Clyde. Take you to the 6 side, get you online. Girl, if you on my side, I'll show you the bright side. Miami and high tide, we'll just die. I can't wait to fuck ya, I can't wait to crush ya. Let me roll this blunt up, then we go die. Take me as I am, cause I can't be no one else. Where was everybody when I needed me some help? So let's fuck it all, need 'em, I can do this shit myself. And I got plenty drugs that I can finish by myself. That's the way it go. But you just like be the one I lean on. Come through tonight and be the one I sweet on. I would've waited forever for you. I'd do whatever you wanted me to do. I can hear you in my head like shit, and I think I'm seeing red. I'll be honest, I can't get you on my head. I know you know that feeling, you know that feeling. Know you love that feeling, you know that feeling. You know love's a mosh pit, and I think I'm seeing red. I'll be honest, I can't get you on my head. I know you know that feeling.
Love Sick is too fire. I'm really glad that I chose that as the theme song too, but this is the moment where I say goodbye, YouTube.